Hello, we've put this quick video together to provide an overview of a financial planning scenario for two of our clients whose wealth was predominantly tied up in their business. To give you an idea of how this works, we build out a client's personal circumstances, including themselves, their partners, any children, and then most importantly, we list out their objectives and goals for the future. These clients had net spending requirement of around about £5,000 per month and wanted to spend, in normal times, another £24,000 a year on holidays and entertainment spending. Alongside this, they'd set out some major trips that they wanted to achieve and assistance with university funding, and then some of the other specific holidays that they wanted to take. All of these were given a valuation and a time in the plan. Here in this plan, our client owns an engineering company. He generates around about £100,000 of income, and his wife earns £40,000 as a school teacher. They also have a holiday home that generates an income for them. They have some smaller savings. They have the rental property and their main residence, which they feel will be their home for life. But the main asset is the valuation of the building of the engineering company. Again, smaller pensions, but nothing to write home about, and only a small amount of debt. Now, once we've put this in, we then build a timeline of these clients' lives, so we can see where there is costs associated to graduating, different holiday events that have been highlighted over here, and retirement and selling the business when our client John turns 60. And this is the plan that he has set out. This then leads us to a cash flow of their life. And so you can see in this instance that we have each column is a year in their life. You can see their ages at the bottom here. The black is their total spending requirement, which includes all taxes. And then this increases over time with inflation as their general expenses will increase. In this instance, you can see that we don't have any sale of the business, and so without the sale of the business, it's very clear that these clients are underfunded. This red space shows a shortfall between the blue, which is the total income generated, and the red, which is their spending need. We can jump into this in detail, and if we remove all of the information from the plan, we can see this is their total costs to live the life that they want. We know in the early years that employment is going to cover the majority of that the rental income will assist with that. In later years, we can be very confident of state pensions and also the teacher's pension, which will be fixed and do not have an investment element. But the remainder of their spending is going to need to be taken from savings and investments and their pension savings. So this showed us that these clients definitely need to sell their business to provide for the life that they want. Now, the original plan is to sell the business, the money comes in cash, and then they sit on this and live a happy life thereafter. And you can see that the only change in this plan, if we are looking at a single chart here, is a big spike here where they have sold their business for approximately £1 million, which was the objective that John had set out. Now, when we're planning with clients, we can look at all sorts of different numbers here to see if selling for £1 million, or they need 1.5 or 2 or 10 or whatever it may be to achieve their objectives for the remainder of their lives. And whilst this large influx of money looks great here, you can see over here there's still some red in the plan. If we look at the asset position, you can see over here that the purple is what we call non-liquid. So this is the valuation of their properties and the business, whereas the green is the savings, the pension savings, blue investments, and the pink colour is their savings. Over here you can see the savings jump up in value because of the sale of the business. This is then spent down over the next few years before pensions are spent down, and then investments are spent down, where they run out of money in their early 80s over here. They'll still have a significant property value, and they still have around about £50,000 in cash, but ultimately This is why we are seeing some red in the plan over here. That might be fine, and actually they can adjust their spending or they can do less things. But with these clients, we then looked and said, well, what if we put some financial planning in place, we create some investments, and again, we can now see that there's no additional funds in the plan. However, the black line now comes up and overcomes this, because what we're doing is we've invested that money. So unlike the previous plan where everything was held in cash, if we look at the assets, here we go, everything's the same compared to the previous plan there, but here in this year, instead of the money sitting in the pink cash, it's gone into investments, which have then been managed over the next few years tax efficiently, taking drawings from these plans but making them grow at around about 5% per annum. This is what we've assumed in this plan, so a relatively cautious growth rate. And by doing that, rather than letting them languish in cash, the assets remain and see them out until their early 90s, ensuring that there is both an inheritance to pass on, but also all of their goals and objectives for spending needs have been met. This gives our clients confidence that if they do sell for £1 million and invest their funds well, they can live the lifestyle that they want from 60 through until late 90s. This is just a starting position, and again, for different business owners at all different levels, planning earlier on to what the number that they require is over here gives them lots of confidence and clarity over what they need to achieve, either in their business metrics or as an exit metric to be able to achieve that life. Hopefully this has been useful, and all of these can be bespoke with as many iterations as we want. Thank you.